Hello friends, again today I am here before you with the model answer of yesterday's question. As you remember, yesterday we gave a question from philosophy of religion. So we'll take up the model answer for that. And today we will again take up another question from socio-political philosophy, which we will be answering tomorrow. So now let us see what was the question given yesterday and what can be the model answer for that. Now the question was, how do personal and impersonal notions of God differ? Compare with references to Advaita and Christianity. Now, this is a direct kind of question, and we have to answer in 300 words. So, what we will do is, in first paragraph, we will try to uh, distinguish or explain how personal and impersonal notions of God are differing. Then we will take up the comparison with Advaita Vedanta and the Christianity. And then finally, we will also come up with critical evaluation of both the concepts of Advaita Vedanta as well as Christianity. And then finally, we'll try to conclude. So this will be the format of our answer. We'll try to cover in 300 to about 320 words. I again request all the viewers, all the candidates, please have some adaptability because these kinds of questions may come or maybe part of this question may come and it may come in different number of words for different number of marks because we are preparing all the questions for about 20 marks question. So accordingly, you should have adaptability. Now let us see, this is the question. How do personal and impersonal notions of God differ? Compare with reference to Advaita and Christianity. So in first paragraph, as I told, we will try to explain what is personal and impersonal notions of God. See, the contrast between personal and impersonal conceptions of God reflects fundamentally divergent theological and metaphysical frameworks. So, see, I keep on telling, please do have a list or a notebook of important philosophical words and phrases. I this keep on telling for ethics paper also and for philosophy paper. This is true for other papers as well. So you should have and you should try to use it wherever possible because these kind of words and phrases will definitely, carry a good meaning or good impression to the examiner and also demonstrate that you have, your knowledge depth is quite proper and you have learned the whole thing and you also understand those terms and phrases. So similarly, the questions which I give model answers will be having some philosophical terms, some philosophical phrases, some quotations, some uh, references to various philosophers, various books. So all those things will be there. So here also, personal persons, God reflects fundamentally divergent theological and metaphysical frameworks. A personal God is characterized by will, self-consciousness, and moral agency, while an impersonal absolute transcends dualities and attributes. Now, so very briefly, we have told what are the main attributes of personal or impersonal God and how they are different. Now, this distinction is sharply reflected in Advaita Vedanta's non-dualism and Christianity's theistic personalism. So basically, now why these two schools have been chosen? Now, you should also understand that because Christianity denotes for a personal God and Advaita Vedanta goes for an impersonal God. So accordingly, in first paragraph, we have to explain and then we have to come with Advaita Vedanta and Christianity. So Advaita Vedanta and Christian. Now, first we will let us say, what is the Advaita Vedanta? What is the concept of God in Advaita Vedanta? Advaita Vedanta, Sankara holds Nirguna Brahm as the ontological reality, which is pure non-dual consciousness. And he has given the Sat Chit Anand. Sat Chit Anand. So, pure non-dual consciousness, that is Chit, which is beyond name, form, and relational attributes. So, this is Sankara's Nirgun Brahm or impersonal God, you can say. The personal God, Iswara, though acknowledged, is a lower epistemic truth. Actually, in Ramanuja, personal God is there. But in Sankara, personal God, even though acknowledged, is a lower kind of truth. That is Vyavaharik Satya, arising through Maya. So basically what Sankara says, the reality is Nirgun Brahm, but when Maya affects it, then he appears as Sagun Brahm, that is Iswara. And that is not real for him. That is Vyavaharik Sat, that is epistemic truth. And ultimate goal of moksha is attained not through devotion, but through Jnana Yoga. So he prescribes Jnana Marg. That is self-realization or discrimination of, that is Vivek and inquiry, affirming the identity of Atma and Brahm. Tattva Tvam Asi. Again, we are quoting Sanskrit form, Vichara, Viveka. So, I have already told, wherever you remember, please do quote Sanskrit terms and words. So, basically, what Sankara says, Atma and Brahm, that realization of identity is moksha. And the Gyan Marg is the way. And he prescribes Nirgun Brahm, which is impersonal God. Now, what Christianity says, let us see that. Christianity, God is essentially personal, relational, and trinitarian, embodied as Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. If some of you might have gone through Christian religion, you will know. And from Bible also some quotations are there. Affirms God's immanence in history through Jesus Christ. So God's immanence in history. So God is immanent. That is within this word. Divine attributes such as omnibenevolence, omnipotence, and justice are considered essential. So for Christianity, God is having omnibenevolence, omnipotence, and omniscience. Now, faith, grace, and prayer are the relational practices through which salvation is pursued. So here you see, here its emphasis is not on grand mark. Emphasis is on faith, grace, and prayer. That is devotion, basically. From the relational point of view, through which salvation is pursued. God is not just the cause, but the loving ground of being. Paul Tillich has, this is from Paul Tillich. Seeking relationship with creation. So basically there is a relation between the creator and creation. So God has a relational value as far as this word is concerned, or people are concerned. Now, what is the critical evaluation? Let us see these two concepts now we have written. Now, critical evaluation of these two concepts. Ramanuja, definitely he challenges the impersonal God of Sankara. So, Ramanuja challenges the Sankara's impersonal God as metaphysically inadequate, arguing that a non-volitional absolute cannot ground ethical life for devotion. So that was the main criticism, one of the main criticisms of Ramanuja of Sankara's Nirgun Brahm. And Ramanuja's Visishtadvait, because he has given Visishtadvait Vedanta, synthesizes unity with plurality, where Brahm is personal and possesses Ananta Kalyana Gunas, infinite auspicious qualities. So basically, if you see, Ramanuja's Brahm is in a way more or less similar to Christian God as well, because there also omnibenevolent, omniscient, omnipotent God is there, and he also, Ramanuja's Brahm also has infinite auspicious qualities. Now, let us see what happens in Christianity. Feuerbach and Nietzsche, these two are again philosophers who have criticized personal God of Christianity. They say that this is anthropocentric, merely a projection of human ideals and existential dependency. So that is their criticism. A Christian God is anthropocentric, merely a projection of human ideals and existential dependency. And further, mystics across both the traditions. And these are some mystics named, both Indian as well as Western mystics, Eckhart, Pseudo-Dionysius, Kabir, Sankara, point toward a trans-conceptual divine, suggesting that true divinity transcends both personal and impersonality. So this is their basically definition. If you have read Kabir, you will understand. Then Sankara anyway is Nirgun Brahm. But ultimately he says that uh, the divinity transcends both personal as well as impersonal. Now what can be the conclusion? While Advaita Vedanta emphasizes non-duality and self-realization, so Christianity stresses communion with a loving God. This is main central thesis of a point of Christianity. Both traditions ultimately converge in their mystical core. They recognize that ultimate reality is beyond conceptual grasp, known not through discursive reason, but through inner silence, surrender, or direct realization. And then finally, one Upanishadic quote, in the heart of stillness, truth reveals itself. So this is a mystic line kind of thing. So this again we have quoted. So this completes the model answer for yesterday's question. Now let us see what is the question for today, which we will be trying to answer tomorrow. Now today's question is, as I told, it will be from socio-political philosophy. The question is, explain justice as a socio-political ideal. How does it relate to law and rights? I will again repeat the question. Explain justice as a socio-political ideal. How does it relate to law and rights? Now, this question we will be answering or giving model answer tomorrow. And tomorrow again we will take up another question from Western philosophy, which we will be answering day after tomorrow. So this sequence will continue. So thanks a lot for watching today's video. We'll meet again tomorrow with model answer of the today's question. Thank you one and all.